We're gonna make it look fly with some DIY. We're gonna make it look fly with some DIY. We're gonna make it look fly with some DIY. Uh-oh, thrift diving.
Hey, what's up? It's Serena Pia from thriftiving.com, which is a do-it-yourself blog, YouTube channel, and podcast that helps you decorate, improve, and maintain your home with paint, power tools, and thrift stores without sacrificing your budget, the environment, or style. Welcome to episode 102 of the Thrift Diving Podcast. You know, it feels really good to be back. Last week, I was in Las Vegas, Nevada for the National Hardware Show. This is the best show that you could ever want to attend. Like, if you love home improvement, this is the place to be because there are literally thousands of companies there. It's hard to even walk through within the 3-day time period and see everything. So you've got a lot of brands, you've got a lot of products there. And this year it was a little different because the National Hardware Show was teaming up with the International Builder Show, IBS, and the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, KBIS. And so you had 3 different shows in 3 days to get through. And I didn't get through everything. But I wanted to talk about for today's episode some of the things that I saw there at the National Hardware Show, at IBS, at the Kitchen and Bath Show, and really just share with you some of the things that I noticed, especially about where things are going with kitchen and bath design. Now, I didn't get a chance to completely go through the Kitchen and Bath Show, which was unfortunate because there was so much there. And, you know, going from the hardware show and the builder show over to where it was beautiful, like I just wanted to stay over there. I really wish I would have done maybe the Kitchen and Bath Show on the first day so that I could have taken in all the beautiful displays. I mean, they had just so much stuff. And so if you're somebody that loves looking at this stuff and seeing what's new in home improvement and kitchen and bath, definitely check it out next year. It's going to be in the same place. It's always in Vegas, or at least the hardware show is. And I'm hoping that they team up again next year so that all 3 shows will be in one location. But it's going to be in March, and there's no fee. I think if you register early enough, there's no fee in order to go to all 3 shows. I didn't have to pay anything, which is amazing because a lot of times when you go to these shows, you got to pay to get in, and then there's all these other things you have to pay for. And it wasn't like that. So I'm feeling pretty good about the amount of money that I spent over there in Vegas because right now we're just actually wrapping up the 30-day DIY money makeover challenge. Oh my gosh. I'll have to tell you about this next week for, episode 103. It's been an amazing challenge. And if you are a part of it, I've appreciated you being a part of it. If you're on the wait list, you're going to actually get a chance to do the challenge because we're going to roll it out to you. But if you've not signed up for the DIY Money Makeover Challenge, I will leave a link down below where you can add your name to the wait list. And I think you're going to want to do this. It's been really great. I can't wait to talk to you about it next week. But for today, episode 102, we're going to talk about what are some of the things that we're noticing with 2023 and the trends that are coming down the pike. Oh my gosh. It's true, guys. It's true. The 70s are back. Not even just the 70s, the 60s, the 20s. And I know that some people love these retro bathrooms, and there's companies that are offering retro like stoves and refrigerators, and those are really cool. And I think you can work them into your home and not have to do an entire like retro kitchen and retro bath. You can make these things work, but honestly, for me, it's kind of like wallpaper. When we moved into this house in 1973, I took down all the wallpaper, and looking back, the wallpaper that was in the dining room, it actually wasn't that bad. It was this floral, it actually kind of was pretty. Now that I'm thinking about it, like years later, I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, that actually was kind of cute. Maybe I could have left it, but I just had a thing about wallpaper. I just didn't want it anywhere in the house, and I took it down. And then, of course, over the years, wallpaper started making this emergence again, and it's still popular, right? Like, I think I'd probably do wallpaper, but just maybe like little accents here and there. I couldn't do an entire room the way it had been done before. I just can't. Okay, I will say if it's removable, yes. But if it's pasted up there, I can't do it. Anyway, let's just start with the kitchen and bath show. So I actually did a recap of the entire show on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen it, I will leave the link down below. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun video. It's long. It's like 23 minutes because there was so much that I captured while I was there that I couldn't figure out what to cut out. I mean, there was just too many good things. So I'll go through and kind of talk to you about some of the cool things that I found when I was there. And then, of course, if you want to watch the video, head over to the YouTube video, find the link down below. And I added timestamps for everything. So you don't have to watch the entire video. If there's something specific you're interested in, just look at the description and there'll be timestamps there. Well, let's start with the 70s. These actually the 40s too. 40s, 50s, 60s, this avocado green, I don't know, these colors that when I moved into my house, I didn't want these colors anywhere near my house. We had an avocado green toilet. It was from the 70s. It was actually very small too. And it was okay because it was the kids' bathroom. They were small and, it just kind of worked. But the color of it, I couldn't do the avocado green toilet. And let's not forget the matching shower. So over the years, as I renovated the kids' bathroom, I took that out, put in a white one-piece toilet. I did not want a two-piece toilet in a kid's bathroom. And if you have boys, I don't have to explain why. It's pretty obvious, right? And I also had the tub taken out. There was a company that came in that did a sponsored campaign with me, and they put in a new tub. And so the bathroom looks a little bit more modern. I will tell you that I still have the shell-shaped vanity in my kid's bathroom, and it's one of those super long double vanities, and it's got the shell shape. I don't think shell shapes are coming back. I would be very surprised if they do, but then again, everything tends to come full circle. But when I came back and did this video for you to show you everything that I saw at the shows, I posted it on my Facebook page, and one of my friends, she had posted a video, an article that was in House Beautiful, and I'm going to link to it down below. And the name of the article, I'm going to click on it here. It says, oh my gosh, it says Kohler, the big brand that makes toilets and sinks and all of that. They've been in business for 150 years. Well, they just announced their heritage colors in honor of its 150th anniversary. And it says, bathroom design may never be the same. It actually is the same because they're selecting colors that were from the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s. So I think what this article explains is that there were 6 different colors, right? They had spring green, which was more of a turquoise. I would say it's more of a powder blue. They have lavender, peach blow, sunrise, avocado, and pink champagne. So those were the 6 colors, and they actually wanted people to vote. Which 2 colors would you want to see for summer 2023 in some of our products? In fact, there was 2 products that they're going to be launching in the summer. It's a 2-piece concealed toilet and a claw bathtub. And so people voted, and the 2 that actually won was spring green, again, sort of like a turquoise color, and peach blow. So we are now we've come full circle. We're back in the 60s, 70s now. And, the fact that House Beautiful wrote this article and said, bathroom design may never be the same. Well, if you're choosing the same colors from 30, 40 years ago, it is the same. I mean, I know you're taking modern not appliances, but fixtures, right? Like the toilets, and, you're adding the pretty faucet handles, and, the design is modern, but the color is definitely in 1970s. And that's the thing. I mean, if you like it, then I guess this is good news for you. For me, I'm all right. I mean, of course, I'm not going to go and take out my toilet and put in another avocado green toilet. If they decide to introduce that again, it's just not happening. Just not happening. I do not want a peach blow sink. I do not want any other things that have color on them. I will add color with paint, but I want it to be something that can easily be painted. I'm not going to go and buy these, but I think that I mean, who knows? Because these are modern fixtures with just color, maybe they'll look good when you have a designer and they're putting them into a room with other things that complement the style or complement the color. But 70's is making a return, guys. I was able to walk through some of the kitchen and bath, as I told you. And so we came upon this section of vanities. And I'm not kidding you, there was a vanity there. I mean, it was nice. It was nice. It was totally like mid-century modern. It looked like something that you would see at the thrift store that maybe somebody had taken and refinished because, the wood on it was beautiful. But it had that same design, that same style. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Like the 70's is back. And as we're walking through, there was another vanity. This was a double vanity that had caning on the front of the vanity. And I mean, was it beautiful? Yes, it was beautiful. But again, it made me think like, wow, that's kind of 70's. And what I noticed is that the other vanities had a lot of texture to them. And, if you're thinking of like vanities where it's just like a flat front, let's say you go to Home Depot and you buy this $250 basic vanity that just comes right out of the box. That's not what I was seeing. Of course, you're not going to see that at a kitchen and bath show, right? They're going to bring the best of the best, and you're going to see where styles are headed. But I noticed a lot of texture, and there was a couple of them that I really liked. Like there was this one blue vanity, and it was gorgeous. It was almost like you could create it yourself if you had like a Dremel tool and you just did lines just to give it some texture. And I've seen people do some designs like that, and it looks amazing. But that's what I noticed, is that it had a lot of texture. And then there was another display that I saw that, now this was a much smaller footprint of a vanity or a sink. It was like a sink and vanity combo. And I'm not kidding you, it looked like hardy board. Now, if you don't know what hardy board is, it's this really rigid board that you have to put up before you put tiles on the wall or on the floor, right? Because this is what you're putting the mud on, not the mud, but this is what you're using the compound for in order to get the tiles to stick. And it's a concrete board, and that's what it looked like. It had texture like concrete. So when I saw it, I was saying to my blogger friends, I was like, wait a minute, this looks like hardy board. And you can actually see this in the video. If you go to the YouTube video that I posted, you can find the link below. You'll see it in there. I don't know if I even make a comment on it, but I'm telling you that, keep looking when you see that part with the vanities and the kitchen and bath show. You'll notice the vanity that looked like it was hardy board. So there's a lot of texture and color, and definitely some wood, like some very 1970s wood. Like you just went to the thrift store and took, I don't know, just a mid-century modern dresser and created your own vanity out of that. That's what it looked like. One of them looked like that, and it was just beautiful. But I thought, wow, all right, the 70's are definitely back. And I guess, I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about that. I mean, I said to you in previous episodes, I'm not one that follows trends. I really don't. I mean, if it weren't for me going to this hardware show and the kitchen and bath show, I wouldn't be able to even tell you like what the trends are. I wouldn't, because I don't really pay any attention to that. I don't read House Beautiful. I generally don't care how stylish my house is. It just has to be clean, comfortable, and affordable. That is my style. And, if it looks great, great. But it's not going to be this highly styled room in my house where everything just looks like it's off the cover of a magazine. Like that's just not my house. I don't have that aesthetic. I don't have the eye for it. I mean, I wish I did, but I don't consider myself to be a designer. But I do know that when I see something ugly that's dirty and that can be refinished, I know that I can make it look great. It may not be what's in style, but I know that I can take something that's ugly and make it pretty. And that's pretty much the scope of what I love to do. But design, I don't really care what everybody's purchasing. So you're going to probably see this like as you're looking through magazines. Maybe you do read House Beautiful. As you're looking at, I don't know, some of these design shows, you may start seeing some of these colorful appliances I'm going to say appliances and fixtures coming back on the scene because it's coming. It's coming. All right, so let's just kind of run through quickly here what some of the cool things are that I saw at the hardware show. And, well, not just the hardware show, but again, remember I went to the builder show too. So there's all these things that I was trying to get in 3 days. I actually had 2.5 days because I kind of skipped out a little early on the third day. And I really wish I would have stayed the entire 3 days because I didn't get a chance to go back to the kitchen and bath to see more things. And it was just so beautiful. Like the displays that they had there, the kitchens, they had this one kitchen. Oh my gosh. I came around the corner and my mouth just dropped open. It was like these beautiful pink glossy kitchen cabinets. And it was just a very luxurious kitchen display. And then I noticed that the kitchen island had orange. And I thought, oh my gosh, those are the thrift diving colors. Like it looks good together. It actually gave me some ideas for maybe something that I can do here in the she shed because, I'm actually recording out here now, which is amazing. So I'm spending a lot more time here and I really want to start fixing it up and adding some personality to it. So seeing that display of the pink and the orange kind of gave me an idea for maybe some cabinets that I want to do in here. And maybe I'll do them like a glossy pink too, with a little bit of orange mixed in. So that was gorgeous. Some of the other things that I saw at the kitchen and bath show, I'll just start there. I'll save the other things for just a moment, but I loved the induction cooktop. This was cool. So myself and my blogger friends, we just couldn't believe this man was cooking on what looked like your everyday average stone countertop. But he was cooking some chicken and we just couldn't believe it. We'd never seen anything like that. And, I'm looking at like what I have in my kitchen. I've got an electric stove with an oven attached, but this was just a countertop. And we were wondering, okay, how does that work? Is there a remote control? And there was a remote control to control the temperature. And in order to know where the hot parts were, because that was my concern. If you have an induction countertop like that, stone countertop, what if when you turn it off, then you set something down there, right? You set a loaf of bread and now you've got like melted plastic all over your countertops. But the man was telling me that you can put down some sort of border, just little dots here on the countertop in order to keep track of where that hot zone is. And I think though, when you turn it off, it may just cool down like very quickly. Because I think one of my blogger friends went up and after he had taken the food off of it, kind of put her hand around in that area. I mean, smart, right? And she said, it doesn't really feel hot. So who knows? But you'll find that in the video as well. I do like there's a company called Smeg. I'd never heard of them, but I feel like I've seen their refrigerators before. They actually have the really cute kitchen appliances, right? So they've got like the refrigerators, they've got the toaster ovens, the coffee makers, like really cool designs here that just look retro and fun, but they're so expensive. I looked at the prices and for like just one of the refrigerators could have been $3,600. Like, I mean, I think you'd have to be doing a complete makeover in order to want to bring that in because, first of all, you'd have to be able to afford it. It was not in my price range, but I loved the whimsical feel of it. And I thought, okay, well, this could be fun if you're renovating your kitchen and you want to go for a retro look. I would definitely look into Smeg and expect to pay some extreme prices. But if you don't want to buy a refrigerator, they did have some appliances like the toaster oven, and they were just gorgeous. I mean, the colors were vibrant and just shiny and just beautiful. So it looked like a piece of art, actually. And I think they were pricey as well. But, if you wanted to bring some of that retro look into your kitchen, you can get a smaller appliance and not have to pay through the roof. One thing that I thought was really funny at the kitchen and bath show was a body blower. That's right. It was like a blow dryer for your body. I'm not kidding you. So you stand on it. It kind of looked like a scale. It was about the size of a scale. You step on it, turn it on, and it just starts blowing this air up your hoo-ha. It was so crazy. And I was thinking like, okay, when did this become a problem? I mean, I know that towels are using, you're using energy to wash them, and, they can get stinky, and you have to change your towel every so often. Some people every single day, because they don't want to reuse a towel. And, you're doing a lot of laundry and stuff. So, okay, for that, I can see maybe this would be a good investment. I don't know how much it actually costs. I'd have to research that, because when I was looking back at the footage, I couldn't find what the name of the company was, but it was kind of funny just standing on there, and the wind's just whoosh, coming up your bum. But, one of my friends, my blogger friend, she's like, oh, this is kind of cool. When the kids get out of the pool, they could just kind of stand on this and dry themselves off. So I guess it has its purpose. But in my eyes, I'm like, what happened to a beach towel? What happened to a towel when you're getting out of the shower? But it might be one of those appliances that you don't realize you really, really wanted until you have it. And then you're like, I can't go back to wiping myself with this towel. Like, I just can't. I think someone like my sister would really enjoy this, because, I remember growing up, she was always so adamant about, like, she's got to completely dry off before she gets her clothes on. And she gets hot when she gets out of the shower. Even if it's like not even hot, she gets hot because of the hot water. And so she'll stand in front of a fan. It could be 30 degrees outside and she's in front of a fan blowing herself off. So, if you are somebody that feels like you need a fan after you get out of the shower, then you might want to look into these body blowers. Just Google it, blow dryer for your body. And, and if you want to get even more precise, type in blow dryer for your body, kitchen and bath show, Las Vegas. And I'm sure you'll probably find out who they were. I'll have to look that up. So, that was interesting. It was fun to look at. And some of the other things that I saw too is there's a company out of Atlanta, and I did not get their name. I'd have to look on the card, but I really loved their handmade countertops. They actually used recycled glass and made these concrete countertops with the glass embedded and just buffed to this beautiful shine. And I could imagine this being in my she shed. I don't know how much it would cost to get the entire 16-foot area of my workbench covered in this. But of course, I don't know if this would be good because I'm going to be doing projects in here. But I felt like I wanted to bring this into my house in some kind of way, just because it was so beautiful. You can see it on the video. You find the link down below in the show notes. And maybe you have a small, I don't know if they smell. Oh my God, I can't speak. I don't know. I don't know if they sell small pieces of this recycled glass countertops, if you can custom make it to whatever size that you want, or, a small size. But, I could see that maybe being on like, in a kitchen center island, maybe as an accent. That could be really cool too. So that was really fun. There was just a lot of things there. I just loved I loved the displays. I loved the look of the soaking tubs. There was a company there I think it was called Canopy Tubs or Canopy Bath or something like that. And the baths actually look like canopies. They had that elongated sort of, like it's stretched up, like the shape of a canopy. And they were gorgeous. Of course, I don't know how much they listed for, but it was beautiful. So, these shows, it's all about the most beautiful products, the most expensive products. And those are fun just to kind of look at and get some ideas and maybe fantasize about what you would want for your home one day when you do those projects, those total renovations. But that was on the third day. The first day, I actually went to the kitchen and bath show. Not the kitchen and bath, sorry. That was day 3. The first day I went to the builder show, and then the second day I went to the National Hardware Show. And these were all in different locations, like different floors. And let me just start by telling you, I loved one of these companies called Boss Tiny House. And the reason why is because, now that I've got this she shed in my backyard, my studio, because it doesn't really look like a shed. It looks like a tiny house. I'm always curious to find out what other things were available. What are the other things that I could have purchased and had built on site? And as I was walking through the National Hardware Show, I saw this company called BOSS, BOSS Tiny House. And they had this huge display, and it was sped up, probably 4 or 5 times, with the construction crew building this house in 3 days. And what I liked about it is that you could actually get it hardwired for your electricity. You can get everything, you tell them where you want all the electrical sockets, and they come and they build it in 3 days. And it's got everything it needs, right? It's got the insulation in it. It's got the electrical. You've got cabinets, because most of these, are tiny homes. So people are getting these customated. Customated is not a word. They're getting them customized for tiny homes. But, if you didn't want the cabinetry and some of the other things, you could probably not get those things and the price would come down. But for the one that they were displaying there, it was like $97,000. Now, I know $97,000 sounds like a lot. And someone even told me in the comment section of YouTube, they're like, hey, I live in North Carolina. I could go and buy like a 2-bedroom place somewhere for like that amount of money. And that's true for North Carolina. But here in Maryland, to get a tiny home in your backyard, you're going to be paying way more. Personally, I think you'd be paying way more than $97,000 and getting all the interior finishing, everything done. So, if you're somebody that's looking to get a tiny house in your backyard, maybe you're going to use it for a quote unquote she shed or an office. They have various sizes and you can customize it. Even if you already have the plans for a house that you want to do, they can actually take those plans and create or modify those plans so that it fits into their system, right? Because their system, the foundation looked like a grid. And they said you can use their grid system or you can do like a concrete, like sort of what I did, a concrete pad. But it looked like it was just so customizable. And with all the interior finishing, it didn't seem like it was really that much more than what I paid for mine. Like my shed, just the structure of it was like $20,000. And that was way less than what I was being quoted by, like contractors that wanted to come in and build it from the ground up. So $20,000, but keep in mind, I had to get the foundation. That was about $11,000. So I'm up to $33,000 there, right? And then I did hire drywall. That was like $4,000. Even though I did some of my electrical myself, I still had to pay the electrician $3,000 to do the exterior connections. And then I saved about $3,000 by doing the interior myself. And then let's not forget the Mitsubishi heater, not a heater, but what do you call that thing? Can't think of it. But anyway, a mini split. There we go. Had a brain fart. The mini split was about $5,200. So all of these things, and then don't forget I put flooring in here and I did that myself, but the materials itself was like $1,200. So these are all things that add up. So if you could get a company like Boss Tiny House to come in and do all of that for you for less time and maybe less money, you just have to kind of price it out and see, then yeah, that actually might work for you. But I know that most people are, number one, not putting a 16 by 26 she shed or studio in their backyard. But, if you're doing a smaller size and you've got a little bit of money, or maybe you're refinancing the home to pull some out to do these projects, consider Boss Tiny House. It looked like a really good system to me. And, I think if I were to do this all over again, I'd still choose the way that I did it. Right? Because I wanted to invest the time and the energy, and it was good content for my channel, and I got to do the electrical, and it satisfied my desire to create this space. I didn't want someone to come in and just do it all for me. But you may be different. All right. A couple other things that I saw that I really liked. There is a company that has a tool coming out called Spinaway. So everybody has power drills, right? For the most part, every home has a power drill. Well, you can add a lot of attachments to your power drill, And some of them I know because I own some of them, right? You can put an auger on your power drill and do some digging. So you can do some easy planting in the spring and summer. But this company is called Spinaway, and they actually make tool attachments for the power drills so that you can do cleaning. And one is like a really long pole, and it's got this brush on the end that when you turn your drill on, it just starts, it starts spinning. And so he said a lot of times people are using these for, or will be using these to clean their RVs. So maybe you don't have to climb all the way on top of your RV to clean it. You've got this extension pole that you can get up there and clean it. People are using it for their wheels, maybe cleaning the cobwebs up high in the corners, or maybe you've got a ceiling fan that's kind of up high in the middle of your foyer. And it's high. You don't want to climb all the way up there. You could use this Spinaway tool to attach it to your drill and just go up there and start spinning away all the dust. So that's really cool. And that's coming out in the summer, I believe. And so I want to get my hands on one of those. But this company also makes attachments for cleaning your chimney and cleaning your dryer vent. So those are two things to be looking out for. I will have links. I'm going to try to find links and put that in the video, the YouTube video. But you can do a search this summer, Spinaway, and I think you should be able to find them. A couple other things that I really, really liked is the roto shovel. So I just mentioned that you can take an auger and attach it to your drill and drill down for easy holes for gardening. Well, I did that recently. I planted some bulbs. And what I noticed is that when you're digging down with an auger, I don't know what it is about the design of the auger, but once you pull it back up, the soil starts to fall back into the hole. So I thought that it was going to be this really great thing for me to discover, like, wow, look at this auger. It costs like $8 on Amazon. And it was kind of a pain it was easy, but it was kind of a pain in the butt because with the tulip bulbs, they had to be down 5 to 6 inches. And so I dig down that far, pull it up, and then all the soil would start falling back in. Well, there's a company that I saw there at the hardware show called Roto Shovel. And they actually make this tool. It's an auger, but it's designed to allow you to dig down, but then you don't have that soil falling back into the hole. So I really like that feature. I need to reach out to them because they said, yeah, we'll send you one as a sample. And I would love to be able to use that for the spring. I have more planting I want to do in front of my she shed to create that garden. So I will definitely get my hands on that, and you will see that on the channel soon. But here is, and I'll tell you this last one. I could go through all of these different tools, but I'm going to allow you to watch the video. I won't go through all of them. But the last one that I'll tell you about that I really, really liked was the reciprocating saw attachments. Guys, let me tell you, this is amazing because, like I said, we all know that the power drill has all these different attachments that you can use to clean different things around your house. But I have never seen a reciprocating saw, and those reciprocating saw attachments do all kinds of things. So they had a little display there. They had the adapter, right? Because you've got like a reciprocating saw. And if you're not sure what a reciprocating saw is, it's generally used for demolition. So if you're cutting things up, you're not trying to do, pretty cuts. These are like demolition tools. And that's pretty much what you use it for. There's not very many other things that people use a reciprocating saw for. And this adapter that goes onto the reciprocating saw will then allow you to add these attachments. So they had a 4-inch scraper attachment, and this could be good if you're like scraping paint. And they had stainless steel brushes. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I was. I was like, you have stainless steel brushes? You can clean rust? Cleaning rust is a pain in the butt. It really is. And I know there's times when I found furniture from the thrift store, or maybe like I've seen people do makeovers with like wrought iron benches, things that maybe, somebody gave it to them or they found it or whatever, but it's got a lot of rust on it. Trying to clean that off, it's not fun at all. And you have to clean it off because then if you just try to spray paint over it or even use like a rust stop spray paint and primer, you just want to clean the rust off. It looks horrible if you don't. But with this brush attachment, this stainless steel brush attachment, you could take this reciprocating saw and clean off all the rust on these wrought iron gates and benches and things that you might be finding from the thrift store that people just want to kind of throw away, but you know that you could kind of strip it with this and make it beautiful. So I loved this tool, and I can't wait to reach out to them and just say, look, please just send me one of everything because I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it for sure. So I would say that was probably one of the most exciting things that I saw is the reciprocating saw attachments. And I think the last one I'll tell you about is the paint can cover, because this is something that we all have a problem with. I can't tell you how many times I have come back to a can of paint and it's completely like dried up because it wasn't sealed properly, right? Like after you get that paint can cover off, the paint gets down in there, it just gets nasty. And then trying to get it back on, sometimes it gets bent and then you don't have a good seal. So there was these two older gentlemen who told me about this paint can cover that they had created, and it's called Seal It. And the idea is that, once you take this can off, this can top, then you would put this rubber seal around the top, and then it's just like this silicone flap that goes over top of it. And you might have seen it in the kitchen. I actually have something similar in my kitchen, where let's say the kids have a bowl of oatmeal. I make them a bowl of oatmeal. They're not ready to eat. I've got these silicone covers that you can just plop down on top of that bowl. And if you were to pull it up, like by the center, it has like a little grip, it would actually lift the bowl because it creates this vacuum seal. So when they were showing me this, I was like, this looks like what I use in the kitchen. But nobody had ever created anything like that for the paint can. Now, what makes me wonder if you could actually even use those from the kitchen on the paint can, because it's very similar. But you'll see in the video, if you watch it, there is an extra little piece that they put around the can so that it really creates a nice, strong vacuum. I'm gonna try to buy some of those. Because, or maybe see if they'll send me one, because my paint cans always get destroyed, and then you end up losing half of the can of paint. So that one is called, again, Seal It. I could not find that online, so I'll have to look and see if I can find the link for that. Oh, one more product I want to tell you about. Okay, everybody has heard of DAP, right? DAP. If you go to Home Depot, I don't know about Lowe's, but if you go to Home Depot, you'll see that they've got all of their caulking and materials and dry decks. I don't know if dry decks is by DAP, but these are the materials that you're using when you're trying to caulk, right? Well, they actually have this, they had a lot of new products, and I just couldn't believe some of the products they were coming out with, but they have this new product that is called an easy hole patching system. And this thing is amazing. So if you're like me and you have young kids, what happens when they come in the door, right? They come in and they just slam the door against the wall. Now, if you have a doorstop, it's supposed to help, but my kids have either pulled the doorstops off, or they've fallen off, or they just completely had the doorstop go inside of the, this actually happened in my bedroom. The doorstop broke off a piece of the hollow door. And so now the door just bunts up against the wall. But the garage door is a pretty heavy door. And so when the kids have come in there and it slaps against the wall, there's a hole in the wall. And I tried to repair it. And if you have done a hole repair for a small hole like that, you know how horrible the patches are, right? Generally, it's this like metal mesh, and you have to slap it on there and then figure out how to put enough joint compound to blend it in to look like it wasn't even there. And it's difficult to do. I don't like to use them. I mean, there are other ways to patch small drywall holes, but that I think probably the everyday homeowner is not going to know how to do. So DAP created this easy hole patching system that's coming out, I think this spring or summer, and it's literally a sticker. I mean, it's so cool, but it's a very strong sticker. So what you do is you apply the sticker over the hole, add one coat of paint, and then pull the sticker. There's something that you're pulling off, which I don't know. I know you have to pull something off, and you can see it in the video as he's explaining it to me, as he's explaining. And then after you pull off kind of like the applicator part, now you've got your sticker on there. Now you have another coat of paint that you put on there, and then that's it. That's it. So the center is really, really strong. So if that door handle comes back and hits that spot again, it's not going to cave in again like it does with the other patches. So that's one thing I'm really excited about. And if they want to send me one, I will do a video on that because, like I said, that hole is right behind the door when you come in from the garage. And, you can tell that I tried to patch it, but the kids just completely destroyed it. So those are just some of the things that I had noticed that really stood out to me from the hardware show. But again, and the National Hardware Show and the Kitchen and Bath. But again, there were so many things there. It's impossible, like literally impossible to talk about everything. I mean, we could be here all night. And I think I've been talking for a while. So I'm going to have to cut this short so I don't take up too much of your time. I'm going to try to start making my episodes hopefully be a little shorter. And I think if it's shorter, maybe you might be able to get through it a little quicker. I know some of you are working from home, and I think it probably would be nice to be able to get your episode done before you go into work, like as you're driving to work. But we'll see. You can tell me. You can send me an email, serena@thriftiving.com, and let me know if you like the longer episodes or if you like the shorter episodes. I don't know, both of them can work too. So next week, I'm actually going to talk to you about the amazing 30-day DIY Money Makeover Challenge that we're actually finishing up next week. So if you're new to thrift diving, you may not have heard, but this has been like week 6. No, we just started on week 5, actually, of the DIY Money Makeover Challenge. And I'm doing it with Krista Edwards. She's from readytoroth.com. She was on the podcast recently, and at the end of the episode, we were just talking about this idea that, hey, we should do a money makeover challenge. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? And I had kind of forgotten about it. And she didn't forget about it. She's like, well, you know what? Let me just email her. Let me see if she's serious about doing this. And we actually have had an amazing, amazing experience. There were 16 people that signed up. We didn't want to have it be too large of a group because we wanted everybody to be able to share and feel comfortable and confident in that environment. But we have transformed lives. My life, my financial life has been completely transformed. And I can't wait to talk to you next week about it and give you some of the highlights so that maybe for the next round, if you're interested in signing up, you can join the wait list. And when we open that up, you can sign up. And we may decide to do another live 6-week course or challenge, but we also may do a self-paced where you can kind of log in, you can watch the replays and be able to participate that way. And you'd get access to the resource folder and all the things that we did in the challenge. You would get access to it. But I think you're really going to love it. I feel so much more intentional about where I spend my money. And when I go to the store, it's not a matter of, well, I'm just going to buy whatever because I know I can afford to pay it off. Now it's like, oh, I'm not paying $5 for that. I can put that $5 into my savings account, or I can put that $5 in to invest, or I can save it for my travels this summer. Speaking of which, this summer in July, my family is going to Ghana, West Africa for 3 weeks. Can I tell you how excited I am? I cannot believe we are finally making this happen. We were supposed to go in 2020, but you know what happened then. And it just wasn't a good time. And now I feel like things are kind of back to normal. People feel safe traveling, and the kids are old enough to be able to enjoy it, to remember. And, you don't have to take diaper bags and all that stuff, right? Like they're fully self-sufficient, 16, 13, and 11. And so I'm just really looking forward to just getting out there with my family and just enjoying life. So I'm going to try to go hard with my content from here until July so that while I'm gone, I have things that I can pre-schedule so that you're not like, where's Serena? Where'd she go? She said she posts like every week and I haven't heard from her, you'll know where I am, and you'll know that I'm having a good time in Africa, but I'm still going to have content for you. All right, that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, just listening to the recap of what happened at the National Hardware Show, the Kitchen and Bath and the Builders Show, and hearing about 70's coming back. Maybe you already knew this. Maybe you've always loved the 70's and the 60's and you still have your house decorated that way. And if you do, you're one step ahead of everybody else. All right, that's what I have for you. Be sure to come back next week if you have a question, if you have a comment, if you just want to tell me what you think of this podcast. I love your emails. And if you have emailed me and I've not gotten back to you yet, it's only because my email is sort of exploding since I was in Vegas last week and I'm still trying to get a handle on everything. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I literally read every single email that comes to me and I will get back to you, I promise. All right, guys, I will see you next episode.
Thrift diving, thrift diving. Find it ugly, make it pretty. Paint the power tools, alright. Saving money with those thrift store vibes. Yeah, thrift diving. Find it ugly, make it pretty. Hey, hey. Paint the power tools, alright. Saving money.